Sunday to you. Listen, good people, health is belief. So today in this episode, I got two questions for you. What are you feeding your body? And what are you doing to your body? Right? Because health is what you put in your body. Fitness is what you do to your body. But what you put in your body is ran by belief. So that's what we're talking about today, right? So listen, if you tired of starting your health journey over, if you tired of knowing what to do consistently, knowing what to do mentally, but can't consistently do it, right? This episode is for you. Welcome back, baby, to another episode of Soul Truth Sunday, where we slow ourselves down, recognize our patterns, right? Regulate our nervous system through those emotions, get a new revelation on what to do different, build a rhythm around that revelation in real time, and put it on repeat mode so we can do what? Tell our soul truth and dare to be us. Man, I am excited about this episode today. Health is a belief. Listen, good people, before we get into it, I just want to tell you our sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by our good friends, Dr. Ford and the Hands to Guide You team. Listen, trauma evaluation, neuro feedback, brain mapping, right? Or if you just need counseling or guidance, Hands to Guide You team got you. Reach out to Hands to Guide You at h2gy.com. Their mission is simple, right? Changing the way the world experiences healthcare. Now let's jump right into this episode, good people. I am excited about this episode today because health is a belief. And listen, what you put in your body is driven by a belief. So listen, man, we about to just get right into it. Y'all know I'm a note taker, so I got my notes and we own it, baby. So listen, part one, man. I want to talk about this first part. Health is a belief. Fitness, like I said earlier, fitness is what you do to your body. Health is what you put in your body. So in this first part, I want to talk about how those beliefs are formed, right? Childhood. So I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about me, childhood story, right? So growing up, man. Now look, I'm about to date my age right now, good people. So stay with me a little bit. I'll be 48 tomorrow. So growing up the way I grew up, my sister and them remember all this too. Shout out to my mom. My mom used to take us to the Hostess store. Any of y'all that's around my age, you know what the Hostess store is. That's where they sold all the apple pies, the honey buns with the white icing on it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So every Thursday, we used to go to the Hostess store because it was like dollar day or like 50 cents day. So we would go there every Thursday, me, my sisters, my both of my older sisters and my mom. Man, we get bags of junk food, good people. I mean, honey buns. I mean, the little apple pies, the cherry. I mean, you name it, the chocolate donuts. That was every Thursday, right? Stay with me because I'm setting this backdrop up as I explain how health is a belief. So every Thursday we would go there, get that. When my mom used to take us grocery shopping, or my dad when we was growing up, they would buy everybody their own box of cereal, right? So it was 5 of us. So we'll all have our own box of cereal. Every Thursday, go to the Hostess store, buying all this stuff. And then watch this. Every time something happened in our life, right? Something good happened. Guess what we did? We ate. Something bad happened. Guess what we did? We ate. Somebody died. Guess what we did? We ate, right? Right? So what am I trying to show you, right? That belief around food sometimes is tied to the emotional side of things, right? And then the pattern that I saw my whole life, right? Growing up, junk food was one of the biggest things that I had to break in my adult life, good people. Sugar. But I just told you why. The belief that was embedded in me from a kid. Watch this. Like I said, emotion. I wrote this down. Food became more than food. It became comfort. It became normal. It became a belief, right? This is why people say, man, I need some comfort food. Comfort, right? That don't mean the food is healthy. That don't mean the food is serving their body. They got a belief wrapped around that food is comfortable. right? So watch this. This is what I want you to see before we go to the next point. I had to change my story, right? Around food, good people. Every Thursday, Hostess, sweets, right? My own box of cereal. I was to the point, man, where they was calling me the cereal monster, right? Because I would eat my own box and then I would start in on my sisters and them, right? And my mom and dad would be like, dude, stop eating they stuff, right? But sugar, cereal, beliefs around that, right? It's just the way it is. That's a comfort food. It made me feel good. And then every time something happened in our life, good news, we ate. Bad news, we ate. Funerals, we ate. Bored, you get the picture? Belief. Health is a belief, good people. So listen, I want you to hear this before we get to the next part two. Nobody handed me bad eating habits. No, this ain't a video about blaming your upbringing and blaming your parents. They did the best they could. My mom and dad didn't hand me bad eating habits. They handed me beliefs around food. Man, that's gonna hit. I want you to really hear that. They didn't give me the bad habits. They didn't hand me habits. They handed me beliefs, right? And then I wrote this down. Those beliefs became my identity, which ultimately became my behaviors, which ultimately turned into habits, which ultimately produce evidence. See, I always say it like this. I always say it like this. Beliefs produce your identity. Y'all hear me talk about that, right? Core values, core beliefs. Your identity produces behaviors. Behaviors produce habits, and habits produce evidence. Your belief is always going to be tied to evidence. People are going to always be able to see the evidence of what you truly believe, right? So the evidence of what you believe about food is your physical body. Man, that's going to hit you later. Listen, good people, listen. Part two, childhood beliefs, right, become adult patterns. So I had to set it up in part one, how those childhood beliefs that was handed to me became my adult patterns in my early 20s, right? Want me to tell you how they became my adult patterns? I'm going to show you about my adult eating habits that I had in my early 20s. McDonald's, Golden Corral. Shout out to Big Jeezy. Big Jeezy know this, man. Listen, anybody that know me know these stories, man. These are true stories. Like the young people say, no cap. I'm trying to show you, good people, how I had to change my belief around food, which ultimately changed my belief about health. So listen, now that I'm an adult, I'm in my early 20s at this time, right? I'm still into health a little bit. I'm still working out 5, 6 times a week, right? Sometimes even 7 times a week. But my eating habits are terrible. I'm talking binging McDonald's. I'm talking 20-piece nugget meal, 2 double cheeseburgers, 6 chocolate chip cookies. Oh, I mean, binge eat. So what I would do from Monday through Friday, I would eat clean, and then eat clean for me that I knew clean at that point, right? And then from Friday to Sunday, I would just binge eat. People beliefs, right? I would start my Fridays off with a 20-piece nugget meal from McDonald's, 2 double cheeseburgers, 6 chocolate chip cookies. Saturday we'll go hit up Golden Corral. Like I said, me and my boy Big Jeezy, man, we got to the point one day, man, we went to Golden Corral. If you know anything about Golden Corral, I don't know how it is now. I ain't been in years, but we got there right when they were serving breakfast, like right at the point they were serving breakfast, right when they was about to turn over to lunch. So we got to eat breakfast and lunch, right? Why am I telling you this story? Because we ate ourselves sick that day, good people. This is a true story. Beliefs, right? Takeout, buffets, all you can eat. So we ate breakfast. Then when they rolled out the other food for lunch, we ate that. I'm talking 20 chocolate chip cookies. I'm talking 3 or 4 servings of banana pudding. That was just the lunch. Not counting the the breakfast. My wife was looking at me and my boy like, "What are y'all doing?" Beliefs though. That day, miserable. I've never been so miserable in my life. I mean, have you ever ate so much where you've been so miserable that you couldn't even get comfortable? Like, that's how it was that day for me and my boy, right? But that was normal to me, right? Because of the childhood beliefs, right? binging out on the Hostess on every Thursday, right, binging out, like doing that, eating at all times coming up. When we felt emotional, when we was bored, we ate. Like I said, when somebody died or bad news, we ate. Good news, we ate. Celebrations, we ate. Right, those beliefs carry over into your adulthood, good people. And mine came out through McDonald's and eating at Golden Corral like that. And then when I used to go to Chili's, I used to get their big mouth burger, right, with fries and must jack fajitas and chips and queso. Good people, let that sink in. I know y'all see the health belief now, but I'm trying to show you how I had to slow myself down and recognize what was really driving the behavior, right? Because every Monday, I would start off my Mondays in a deficit as an adult. I will work out, like I said, Monday through Friday. Then I will start binge eating from Friday to Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, I will be bloated. My body will be racked with inflammation. My joints will be stiff, right? Because I couldn't make that connection. Like, man, I'm working out. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm eating my grilled chicken, my grilled fish. And shout out to my boy Big Stace, man. That's who kind of helped me started to change my beliefs about health, right? Uh, my boy Big Stace, man, he passed away at Chili's. The waiters bet on whether you would eat it out. Shout out to my wife. That's so true. I forgot about that, babe. At Chili's, man, I used to eat so much, and then I get back to my boy Big Steak. I used to eat so much. The waiters placed a bet at Chili's one day because I ordered the Must Jack fajitas and the burger and 2 strawberry lemonades, and we had the cheese dip with the queso. And the guy was like, man, we got a $20 bet in the back that you can't eat all that. He said, I think you can, bro. I know little people know how to put it away or whatever. Long story short, my man won $20, man, because I put it all away, good people. Shout out to that, man. Thanks for reminding me of that story. But back to my to my big homie, man, what I call him, Big Stace, man. He passed away about 2 years ago, but he was the first person that really got with me, that helped me started to change my beliefs about food. He was the first person who introduced grilled chicken, grilled fish to me, right? I was like, what? Let's just go eat McDonald's and go work out. He's like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But he was the first person that introduced a different way or a different belief for me to eat. Because like I said, I would start my weeks off in deficits because I will binge over the weekend, right? Because my belief was, man, I can work out Monday through Friday, do what I need to do, and then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's my time. I'm gonna eat whatever I want to eat, even though I know it's not serving me. Man, Monday, Tuesday, good people, I will wake up, my body will be like stiff, my joints will be stiff, I will be bloated. Why? The belief. The belief that I had around food and the belief that I had around working out, right? About health. So listen, I want to say this before I get to part 3. You can outwork bad food for only so long, right? Eventually it's gonna catch up to you, good people. See, I was outworking a bad diet. So I always say this. Let me say it like this. Let me rephrase it. Let me say it like this. You can't outwork a bad diet. Just let me say it that way. I don't care how much you in the gym. I don't care how much you getting up every morning, doing what you need to do. Diet is 90% of health, good people. You cannot outwork a bad diet. And in order to stop trying to outwork a bad diet, you first have to uncover the belief behind the diet. And that's what this episode is about today. All right, so listen, part 3, good people. This was my wake-up call. This was my wake-up call. You know, everybody has a wake-up call in life, right? I always say wake-up calls are just pattern interruptions, right? So when you really have a wake-up call in life, that's just something or somebody interrupted your pattern that you was consistently doing that you couldn't interrupt on your own. So the wake-up call was somebody interrupted that pattern, and then now you became conscious enough to see it and recognize it to do something about it. So My wake up call came after we moved back from Dallas. You know, I talk about this a little bit on other Soul Truth, but after we moved back from Dallas, man, I had got up to my heaviest, man. We had went through a lot of stressful events. You can go back and check out those other Soul Truths when we lived in Dallas. We had lost Joshua. That was our second son. My wife delivered early. Her placenta separated. We was going through financial struggles in Dallas because we had rented out our house, and the guy that we rented out our house to in Oklahoma had lost his job. So now we had like a mortgage in Oklahoma. Then we had, a mortgage or rent to pay. So it was all type of stuff going on. Emotion. What did I tell you in the first part? Beliefs that I picked up growing up. When things weren't going good, what do you reach for? Food. When things are going good, what do you reach for? Food, right? When somebody dies or at funerals or whatever, what do? You eat, right? When you get bored, you see what I'm saying? So doing this stretch in Dallas, man, me and my wife going through all this, guess what? I had got off of sugar for a little bit in Dallas, but then emotions, right? I started emotional eating again, and I got up to my heaviest right before we moved back to Oklahoma. I was like 190. The first wake up call was when we first moved back. I had did a newspaper article. It was a newspaper in Norman, Oklahoma, who wanted to interview me. It was called the Norman Transit, and I had just wrote my book at the time called Hatch, and we had our cleaning business. So they wanted to interview us, and that picture that you see on the thumbnail is the actual picture that they took that day from the interview. Now, mind you, when I first saw that picture back then, I didn't even think nothing of it. People see that picture today and be like, man, I don't remember you being that big. I don't remember you being kind of looking like that. I don't ever remember that. Why? Because that was my normal. That was what was comfortable, right? So the first wake up call came after I had picked up all the weight. We moved back. I kind of start getting back into my normal routine of playing basketball, man. Shout out to Gary AG and his son AJ, man. So the first wake up real call, I'm back playing ball, right? And AJ is probably about, these are true stories, good people. AJ is probably about 13, 15 years younger than me. I'm 48. I'll be 48 Monday. Yeah, he's probably about 15, maybe 12 years younger than me. Anyway, I played against him and his boys, and they saw me, and his dad coming up playing ball. Long story short, that day that I decided to come back at my heaviest, he decides to come to the gym that day with his boys. They remember me. Long story short, man, that day was tough on your boy. Cause I hit some buckets and did some stuff, but man, I couldn't move like I normally move, good people. My knees was hurting me, my back was hurting me. People that I normally be able to get by on the basketball court, it was very rough for your boy. And the wake-up call afterwards, I remember me and my wife was laughing about this. Shout out to my to my booth the other day, because I had to tell her the exact story. So I got to tell it to you, good people. This is how it was. I got to get my face together. Hold on. That's how he came to me. Hold on. I got to get it. Got to get everything together. Okay. So after it was all over, I was already feeling the way because I already knew that type of performance wasn't my normal performance, good people. Evidence. You heard me say earlier, beliefs turn into identity, right? Identity turns into behavior. Behavior turns into habits. Habits produce the evidence. So your beliefs are always going to produce evidence. So the evidence was already showing up in my body. I was 20 plus pounds overweight, joints aching, knees hurting. So AJ comes up to me and he goes, Dose. This is how he look, good people. Dose. That's what they call me, Dose. D-O, Dose. Man, what happened? That's how he look. What happened? He was sincere with it. What happened? I'm like, what you mean what happened, man? What you? He was like, man, you used to. That's all he kept saying. He didn't even finish his sentence. Man, you used to. Man, I remember. And instantly, guess what happened to me? I got offended. I'm like, what you mean? I used to. Man, I was hitting buckets. He said, yeah, you was, but good people, I grabbed my stuff and left. That was the first wake-up call because I already knew it, right? Then the week later, Dr. Ford might not even remember this. I go to the ranch where I normally work out. I'm just now back. Long story short, we get done playing. He's still winning. right? Because we on opposite teams. I'm on the side. I said, man, I gotta get back on it, man. I gotta get back. He looked at me dead in my face. He said, well, now that you back, you either gonna get back on it or you gonna stay like this. And he got up and went back out there and started playing. He probably don't even remember that. Those was the wake-up calls, good people. Why? Because they interrupted the pattern that I was starting to normalize, right? They interrupted that and they made me slow myself down to face the truth of what my reality and the evidence was already telling me, right? So listen, this is what I want you to see. This is what I wrote down. My body had been telling me the truth. I just wasn't listening. Your body is telling you the truth about your health, good people, but are you listening, right? Your health, the evidence is in your body. It's telling you the truth. The doctors are telling you the truth, right? High blood pressure, high cholesterol. The evidence is there, but are you listening? Are you listening? Or are you letting the story play the belief about food and about health? You feel me? Come on, come on. So listen. So listen. So listen, before I get to this other part four, I want to break down kind of a little bit about how belief and faith is different, right? I wrote this down. Y'all know, man, I love that book, right? Watch this. The children of Israel died in the wilderness, a 40-year journey. I mean, 11 day, I think it's 11 or 12-day journey. Don't quote me because I haven't really studied it in a while, but I think it was supposed to be 11 or 12-day journey. Took 40 years and they died in the wilderness from a lack of belief. If you read that text, if you read it and study that text like I have over 20 some years, the text doesn't say they died from a lack of faith. Watch this. I want you to really hear this because you can have faith enough for God to deliver you from Pharaoh, for God to deliver you from toxic situations, from the universe to deliver you from toxic situations, but not enough belief in yourself to take hold of the promise that it promised you, right? The children of Israel walked around the wilderness for 40 years because they didn't have belief in themselves. And the book said they died because of unbelief, not because of faith, lack of faith, because of unbelief. Because faith has to do with the divine, belief has to do with you. I wrote this down before we get to the next part. Belief is action, good people. Faith is surrendering. So don't be like the children of Israel. You walking around the same health cycles because they're wrapped around a belief that don't serve you. You're seeing the evidence in your own body. You're seeing the evidence that you're passing down in your own kids, in your own generation. You're feeling the evidence in your mind every time you wake up. Brain fog, lack of energy. You're seeing the evidence in your joints, stiff, arthritis. Don't keep circling the same mountain because you lack the belief. Change the belief so you can go conquer like Caleb and Joshua did. Stop telling yourself that you look like grasshoppers in their sight. Nobody told the children of Israel that. That was their own story and their own belief. Oh man, look, I just wanted to hit that part real quick. Look, I can make a whole soul truth about that, and I might just have to do that. But I just wanted to hit that part real quick to show you that faith and belief is different. You can have faith in God to change your health for your generation or to change your money or whatever it is. But do you got enough belief to take hold of the promise? Because the belief is up to you, good people, not God or the universe. Okay, so listen. So this is how I started to change my beliefs and started to actually become plant-based, right? So this story is funny because I started out veganish, right? People that know me know I started out vegan-ish. So what does that really mean? I cut out animal products and I only ate it. Well, I limited my animal products to once a week. So that's when I first started out, once a week. Now I still kept eggs in, so that's why I call myself veganish. So when I first started to slow myself down and recognize these beliefs, man, and then I had to regulate my nervous system through it because I felt a certain type of way. I felt angry, like, why didn't nobody tell me about this? Right? How come I'm just now figuring this out in my 20s? So I felt the way. So I had to regulate my nervous system through it, right? To get a new revelation on what to do different, right? Which is become veganish, right? And then build a rhythm around that, right? That's what my 5R framework does, good people. That's what my Soul Truth Power sessions do, right? That's why if you still are circling around the same cycles or pattern, email me for your Soul Truth Power session. Yeah, man, that was a shameless plug, but that's what I do. So listen. So I became veganist. So once a week, I will only eat meat or animal products, right? So I did that for a while. And so what I started noticing that when I went back to eating meat, I started feeling a certain way. So I would cut it out all week, going back to the belief of binging on the weekend. So I would be plant-based Monday through Friday afternoonish and then start eating meat again Friday afternoon or Saturday, right? Or either Saturday, or I either do it at Friday or Saturday, just once a week, and then get right back on the plant based. But what I found is that every time I start eating meat, just that once a week, I will feel different, good people. My energy levels would drop. My digestive system would kind of feel different. My joints would kind of feel different. So I started to really recognize and observe that. So me going veganish, it went from once a week, cutting it out, and then I start letting my body do the heavy lifting. So what do I mean by allowing my body to do the heavy lifting? So what I mean by that is when you start feeding your body the right things, right? The right fuel, your body is going to automatically start weeding out the junk because it wants the right fuel. Think about a Bentley. Think about your body being a Bentley, right? So I always use this analogy, man, when I'm talking to people about health because they can really see it. Think about your body being a Bentley, right? Would you put 87 octane gas in a Bentley? No, you wouldn't do that, good people. Because eventually, if you put 87 octane gas in a Bentley, eventually, over time, that cheap gas is going to destroy the engine of the Bentley because the Bentley is not designed to run on cheap gas. It's designed to run on gas, but not cheap gas. 87 octane gas is usually for like lawnmowers. I mean, you can put it in cars, but I'm saying it's a cheaper version of gas. So your body is a Bentley. Think about that. Or whatever the most expensive car is out there. Why do you keep putting cheap gas in it? Cheap fuel in it, cheap food in it. Let that sink in. Eventually, you keep putting that cheap fuel in it, gas, is eventually your body is going to start breaking down. Not because it can't hold itself up and produce health for you, but because you keep fueling it like a car with the wrong thing. So I just want you to see that. So after about a week, then my body starts saying, we don't need that stuff no more. So then instead of cutting it out once a week, then it went to every 2 weeks. So I would do it once every 2 weeks. Then it went once every 3 weeks. Then eventually my body just totally weeded it out. I didn't do nothing extra. I didn't force it. I didn't get frustrated with it. All I did was stay consistent with the new belief that I have found and recognized. And then I allow my body to do the heavy lifting because your body wants nutrition. Your body wants the fuel that's going to give it the best opportunity to perform at its highest peak, right? But if you got a belief wrapped around food, like I explained earlier in the episode, it's going to be very hard for you to get there unless you recognize that belief. So listen, these are some of the stats I want you to hear. It's not just me. This is not just my story, good people. This is the story of Americans. We have a health epidemic, right? I said this earlier. 40% of US adults are living with obesity. That's 4 out of 10 adults that you see today are obese, right? And then another 3 out of 10 are overweight. So 7 out of 10 adults are either overweight or obese. These are real numbers. About 1 in 5 children and teenagers are obese. So that's 5 children or teenagers that you see today, Sunday. Man, I don't know what happened right there. Okay, it started to blank out. We back, we back. Okay, okay. So these are some of the things that obesity causes, in people. Type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, joint pain, digestive issues. Y'all hear me talk about this, right? So listen, it's not just something that I struggled with early on. This is a health epidemic. Americans are struggling with this, good people. They're struggling with their health. They're struggling with the standard American diet, the sad diet, right? Is what I call it. That's not a standard diet. Listen, how can American have a standard diet, right? And we spend more money on health care than any other country, but yet we're the sickest country in the world. Let that sink in. Our healthcare budget here in America is more than most countries' whole economic budget. But yet, we're the sickest country in the world. Beliefs around food, good people. Let that sink in. Okay, so now I just want to talk about passing down these beliefs. And then, man, we about to get up out of here. Y'all heard me and wifey talk about this. So our boys are 14, 11, and they're 9. And so we've been able to pass down these health beliefs. We've been able to pass down these beliefs now because we've been able to recognize them in our own self, regulate our body through those emotions, right? Get a new revelation, build a rhythm around it, and put it on repeat mode. So our boys are able to see these new beliefs. And we didn't force these on our boys. That wasn't the whole point of us changing our beliefs. In the beginning, when they was younger, yes, we laid the law down because they couldn't make that decision for themselves. But we laid the law down not to be forceful or controlling. We did that only because we wanted to show them a different belief, a different way, and then produce the evidence. So now they have evidence of the belief that we passed down. Every belief has evidence attached to it, good people, whether you want to accept the evidence or not. Your beliefs have evidence. So now our boys get to see the evidence of what we've been telling them and the belief that we've been passing down. So this is what I always say. Our 14-year-old now has his own uh, uh, workout rhythm. Now he has his own diet rhythm. And our boys are pretty much vegan. They're kind of like veganish like I was, but like Monday through Wednesday, Thursday, they probably eat plant-based because we don't buy that stuff, right? Their grandmother buys it for them. Sometimes we might buy it for parties and stuff, pizza, stuff like that, but we don't really buy that stuff. They buy it with their own money, but they form their own rhythm, right? Around the beliefs that we implemented that we're passing down, the new beliefs. The beliefs is not to control them, but to show them a different way, to show them evidence of if you change the way you look at food and health, this is the evidence. Train a child up in the way that it should go, and when it's older, it won't depart from it. Come on, good people. So our 14-year-old is already got his own rhythm. Our 11-year-old is already forming his own rhythm. And then the 9-year-old, is kind of just watching everybody. But what I'm trying to show you is this. You're passing down beliefs to your kids, whether you realize that or not. The question is not, are you passing down beliefs? The question is, what are you passing down and what are you modeling? So listen, before we get up out of here, man, I'm going to leave you with an action plan. This is the actual action plan that I used to give to my clients. I used to do a little bit of health coaching back in the day. This is the actual meal plan, action plan. So if you're tired of starting your health journey over, if you're tired of knowing consciously what to do, but can't consistently do it right, if you on the fence of thinking about going plant-based or thinking about going veganish, this meal plan is going to help you. So listen, it's a 4-week meal plan. It's very simple. This is all you have to do. Week 1, the average person eats at least 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Probably more than that, but let's just say 3 meals a day. So this is how I used to explain it. 3 meal. You replace one meal in week 1 with a plant-based meal or a vegan meal. So that's it. No matter if you eating 5 meals a day, right? 1 meal vegan all week, right? Week 2, you replace 2 meals all week. Week 3, 3 meals. Week 4, 4 meals. What that does, it allows your body to do the heavy lifting, right? So by week 2, what you're going to realize by week 2, you're going to start not craving the junk. Your body's going to start craving the health. Your body's going to start craving the nutrition all on its own if you stay consistent in week 1 and 2 with replacing those meals. This is what I mean by allowing your body to do the heavy lifting. So if you do that for 4 weeks, come holler at me. I want to hear from you. Email me, flthelifecoach@gmail.com. I want to hear your results. But if you do that for 4 weeks, good people, I promise you, not only would your beliefs change and get submitted, but your health will change and be submitted. Cemented. Cemented. That's what your health will change and be cemented. Because guess what? Now you got the belief. Now your identity changes. Now your behavior changes. Now your habits change. Now the evidence changes. Belief, identity, behavior, habits, evidence, good people. That's Soul Truth Sunday. Take that. Take that practical step and use it. That's Soul Truth Sunday. So listen, man, health is a belief, good people. Our boys are inheriting different beliefs because we're showing them a different way. What are you passing down? Not only to your kids, but what belief do you still have around your health, right? Is it serving you or is it hindering you? Listen, good people, that is Soul Truth Sunday. Listen, drop your comments below when you hear this replay. Drop your statements. If you don't have a comment, your statement could help somebody. I want to hear from you. And remember, every Sunday, 9 a.m., brand new episode drops. Every first Sunday, 9 a.m., me and Dr. Ford go live. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m., brand new episode of The Married Life drops. Every last Monday at 7 p.m., the Spotlight drops, right? Soul Truth Spotlight. That's a live coaching call. And then next month, starting on Fridays at 7 p.m., the Dirty BU show drops. So I'm going to be interviewing people who doing dope shit, good people, who finally decided, who has always decided to tap into them and what that looks like, what their authenticity looks like to the world. So you don't want to miss that show. So until next time, same bad time, same bad channel. Health is a belief. Is that belief around health helping you be the healthiest version of yourself? Or is it hindering you? That's what you need to think about going into this week. And until next time, baby, I'm FL, founder of the Dirty BU Network. Happy Sunday to you. Health is a belief, good people.